Hello and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Liam Xavier and you join us for this Predict 2026 interview. With me in the studio is Emily Turner, the Head of Strategic Alliances at ClearBank, and Daria Dubinina, the CEO and co-founder at Crassula. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us.
So if we talk about partnerships, it's something that obviously has always been around, but last year we've seen a lot more people stepping up this element and turning it into an extra part of operations almost. How do we move from that more casual collaboration and one-off partnership to an actual strategic effort? Emily?
Yeah, and I completely agree, and I think we'll continue to see more of this and going a lot deeper, and businesses really starting to take a bit of time to understand what partnerships means to them, and really building those relationships where your partners you're valuable to each other and you are coming together to deliver on customer outcomes. And I think scaling that is kind of twofold. You've kind of got the fintechs on one side who are delivering sharp, innovative, cutting-edge solutions to customers for the way that they want to consume financial services today, tomorrow, and the future to come. And then kind of the banks or the tech fin partnerships that sit behind as the backbone for that, and actually how those relationships really work to keep delivering those customer outcomes, those business goals, and keep removing the friction for kind of the advancing technologies as well.
Mm-hmm. And would you add anything to that at all?
Yeah, so I agree. And I think that partnerships only work when the partners do what they do the best. So if every party does their thing and then they collaborate, it brings X10, X100 to the performance of the solution that they are introducing to the market. Also, I would like to add that companies fail not because of not getting access to something, but they fail because they're getting overwhelmed by the number of elements that they have to take into equation. And that's where partnerships really help, because they help companies to get the solution that works seamlessly.
And I'll stay with you, Daria. If we're talking about different partners with different specialities, you sort of need this holistic view to see it as an ecosystem. How can you actually visualize that to build a strategy around it?
Yes, sure. So when we're talking about elements that it takes to building the financial services, you really have to take into account the currencies, the geographies, the compliance, the security, everything. And let's imagine that we're building the financial service. So first and most, you're looking into building the compliance base for everything that you do, because once you touch other people's money, you have to comply with all the regulations that are locally present. So KYC, KYB, KYT, everything that is connected to securely managing other people's money has to be there without any compromises. The other thing is product, of course. You have to go with a product to the market, and you have to present to your customers the solutions that they are going to actually use and to actually touch and cooperate with. The other thing is the infrastructure, the services, the money flows, the secure infrastructures that the banks and financial institutions are providing are important, because that is your money rails, and you have to manage multiple money rails if you're working in different jurisdictions. And the last element, the last layer would be, of course, the business development and the market knowledge. When you approach to the customers, you have to understand their needs. You have to deliver your message about your services so that the customers understand that they are getting the solution that they need, and within the infrastructure and speed that would be acceptable for them. So these key elements are pretty hard to manage, but that's all about partnerships. Again, if the partnerships are working well, at least two out of four elements will be settled, and the businesses will be able to launch their services seamlessly.
Fantastic. And none of this is particularly random. We've seen changes in technologies that have prompted this. If we can focus on AI and digital assets, how can these partnerships help that become more of a successful transformation?
I don't know a single company that is not adopting AI, whether internally or externally. So, of course, this is an initial element in everyone's business, so that you internally interact with assistants and externally deliver them. At the same time, when we're talking about trends that are out there on the market, I would align to real-time everything. Customers are not taking compromises on, waiting for the money to be settled or to be reconciled. They are expecting the services to be instant and immediate. We do a lot for providing this real-time visibility for the customers without them thinking about what's going there on the back side. And the second thing is cross-border money movement, and there's where the speed is expected, and of course adoption of digital assets and stable coins is very active. I would say that they're not new, but they're adopting very, very actively right now. So that's one of the trends that is out there on the market.
Emily, would you say anything from, I guess, how that's changing strategies around operations?
Yeah, and so I think when we kind of look at those topics in particular and actually how partnerships enable us to adopt these new technologies, it's about kind of the partnerships in the background, being able to kind of form these connectivities, form these relationships, and make it really easy for the fintechs to kind of adopt them when they're ready. It's about leaning into your partner to take away kind of the complexity of an area that maybe you're not familiar with, whether it's AI, whether it's digital assets, and really kind of combining those things. I think digital assets is a really interesting one. We've got like traditional finance as you know it today, DeFi, and kind of that amalgamation of the two, which is the future. So this like hi-fi model that people are starting to talk about, and actually making sure that your partners are working for you to be ready for the products that you need to deliver in the future. So is your kind of backbone or your skeleton to your business, which is your partner ecosystem, preparing you for your strategy of the future as well.
Amazing. And staying with you, Emily, but one for both of you. There are people that have been around in banks especially that perhaps aren't as used to partnerships, or it's been more about that competitive model. So what's one piece of advice for those going into this year?
I think if you were new or looking at your partnership strategy, there's probably a little method that I would probably adopt thinking about it. I'd start with the customer and the business outcomes. I would then look at what I do, we do, you do best. What are your core competencies? Where are those gaps? But not just for today, but for that future. So rolling into those things, like what are the new products that you want to be able to roll out to market? And then I would focus on building a curated ecosystem of strategic partners where you are valuable to each other. You're both delivering kind of those customer outcomes, but you're not just aligning on capabilities anymore. It's really important that you are almost proud to partner with someone. They are a brand behind your brand, and that actually there's not just a capability fill there. This is more strategic. You are aligned on your strategy, on your visions, on your goals, on the culture, and how you want to be talking about the financial services of the future. So I would say kind of know what you do best and partner for the rest.
Amazing. Dara?
I wouldn't say that the banks are not open for partnerships. During the last at least 5 years, they're very active in finding the right connections and right matches in finding the relationship, because at the end of the day, everyone has to solve the customer's problem. And if you're not solving the customer's problem, someone else is solving it. So if bigger bank infrastructures do not have necessarily in their scope some solutions, they inevitably go for the partnerships, inevitably go for looking for placing the right solution at the right place for the right customer base. So I see the biggest banks talking to the smaller startups, and I believe this is a good trend. This is a good thing because it helps to adopt the technology, but at the same time, it doesn't allow the technology to go wild, right? Because the trusted, secure, mature infrastructures are there for such a long time for a reason, and if that infrastructure can be taken and something else technological and useful and innovative could be built on top, I think this is the best solution that could be on the market.
That's really interesting and some great insights there, and a nice place to end, I think, as well. Thanks for joining us in the studio.